So how's that play out in terms of the balance? Because once you get in behind, 2 or 3 laps in behind the car, you torch the rear tyre and you can't get the sort of exit traction you need.
Smoothly consistent. Might have to save heat for the end.
Jackson Evans gives that wall a nudge at turn 2 where Brodie made heavy contact yesterday.
Rundown on the race. Who's going to make the final?
So Kai Allen's got a younger tyre here, but he's got a tonne and a half of Mustang to negotiate to get the most out of it.
At the moment, we're sitting third.
Got to run on him here. He's got to run on him. He's got to run on him. He's got to run on him. Ooh, that was close. In fact, Thomas turned it in a little late to actually give him a little bit of room.
25.
Fed at first gear to get round there. Kai had to slow it up so much, but he's sweating on him. He's got a grip advantage at the moment, but it's hard to get by. You got to work every angle here.
And he's
giving him a proper one that turned him, but he stopped. Actually, that was smart by Kai. So he propped and didn't take advantage. So that was awkward contact. Randall's blown up.
We've got 9 to go.
But Allen did the right thing.
Yeah, he's
gave him a
regressed.
whack, and he didn't even bother to go by. He just sat there and then patiently waited. He probably got himself out of jail with that one.
Yeah. That initial redress, although it was a manoeuvre that put Randall in. So this is out of 13 in the braking area, battling to get it stopped, and he's drilled him. Bang. So right out, bang, into the fence, and then he stops.
So he dipped the clutch, fed it first gear, waited. So here it is from the chopper again. Thump, turns him. Thomas has tried to catch it. And then Allen just patiently waits. And that was a good decision. Doesn't take much when you're already at the grip limit under brakes down there. And inside that helmet, things would have got pretty hot and steamy at that point. Meantime, the gap up the front's down to half a second, and the margin between Payne and Heimgartner as Courtney's fed in here. So Courtney's sitting in the wall at turn 11, looking for reverse, and he can't back into the traffic there. Now he's clear. Meantime, this is what's going on at the front of the race. Courtney's plummeting down the order, down into the mid-teens now, and I think he's managed to be able to get it going. But these guys, it's going to be, no, he hasn't. He moved it, but it hasn't got very far up the road. So does that trigger a safety car? Meantime, the battle between Mostert and Feeney is lit up properly here at the moment as they negotiate the yellow flag area.
Safety car boards and flags.
There is a safety car. This will bunch the field up. Now, the other battle that I'm being keen to look at is Heimgartner and Payne. They've been in a battle here, and Heimgartner's currently on target for a podium. This will bunch the field up. This will light the game up, our first safety car of the day.
Absolutely. Now, there's got to be more to the story with James Courtney, because Anton De Pasquale needed to get by to make it into the next segment of the finals. Now, did he give him a bump? Has James made it by himself into the fence at turn 11? We're going to tell you the story. Here it is. Here's the replay. Anton dives down the inside, locks the wheel into the back, and that's the end of the story for JC, for James Courtney. He's giving him a bump, punches him into the tyres on the outside. Oh, and he didn't really, he couldn't do much by then because you can't see, you don't know what's going on. You're just trying to get yourself back so you can turn and stay in the game. So this safety car is out as a consequence of the bump that Anton De Pasquale ended up into the back of James Courtney at turn 11. This is a big moment. There's a lot of big moments in this championship right now unfolding in front of us.
And I presume that race control will deem that that's not a fair play.
No.
So I think there's a fair chance that Anton's going to get a whack for that one. Did I just see some weather in the background there, or did I daydream that then in that shot? Certainly hazier out there than it's been at other parts of the weekend. So the field will now compress, and yes, there is confirmation from our colleagues in race control that cars 18 and 7 are under investigation. Yeah, so it is dark out there, but it's held off longer than was being sold. So it's just a little past 3:45 local time in Queensland. Talking about the weather potentially coming in the best part of an hour ago, but that hasn't been the case, and there's the reason for the safety car intervention, and James Courtney, who's been celebrated this weekend for his last run as a local driver here on the Gold Coast as a full-timer. And he's had nose-to-tail contact from Anton Di Pasquale that sent him into the fence down there at turn 11, and that car looks a bit second-hand in the rear.
There's your numbers, but that won't take into account a possible penalty for Anton Di Pasquale. So if he's penalised, that's going to impact that. Hey, Rihanna.
And somebody else that is suffering out there is Cam Hill. The team have told me his cool suit failed about 10 laps into this race. During one of the pit stops, they tried to put ice in his race suit, but he is very uncomfortable at the moment.
Yeah, there's not too many places in this country that can be as bad for the physical exertion and the demand on the driver around here. And we've had a few reports of some cool suit issues and some drink bottle issues through the course of the day, so there'll be some very fatigued drivers at the end of this. This is hard work. The physicality around here, plus the intensity.
Length. There should be no gaps bigger than a 5-car length.
Yep, so race control just administering this safety car deployment to ensure that there's no more than 5-car lengths between drivers.
Which is often under-policed.
Yes, I
It has been
completely
for
agree.
decades.
Yep.
So I don't know the last time that anybody ever got penalised for being more than 5-car lengths when there
They
should have
should
been
be.
some for the last 30 years.
Totally. Couldn't agree more. In fact, there's been times in the safety car periods you go up and bump the car in front to... So this was the lap beforehand. So Anton just gave James a little bump there. Now he redresses because we saw him behind him at the fast chicane, and then a sort of half move down here, and it wasn't a real move. He wasn't up far enough. He had the wheel locked in the end, so as he gets to the turn-in point, he had the wheel locked at the end. James was trying to cover down, and ultimately 2 cars have made contact.
What does this do in tyre recovery? Who's got the firepower at the end of this when it lights back up? Because we don't have many laps of racing left here. It's going to be a mad sprint to the end, and there will be push and shove because there's a lot at stake here.
Dive in at Team 18 as that weather closes on the Century Batteries chopper cam. Adrian, you've seen a few replays of that one. Your thoughts on the contact between Anton and James there?
Oh, look, James is a buddy, but he looked like he moved in the braking area a couple of times while we clearly had car pace on him. So we've got to have a go. It's the finals, but, you know, he's moving in the braking area, so we'll see what the judges say.
Right, had to try something, didn't he?
Yeah, you're not going to win anything by sitting watching, are you? You've got to have a crack.
Good luck.
So.
Diplomatic answer from Adrian Burgess. The weather looking to the west and out towards the Gold Coast hinterland. Beautiful area of Australia out there, but at the moment it looks like they're getting some rain. It's very dry around here, so it'll be welcome water if it does turn up. And this part of southeastern Queensland is looking pretty parched here at the moment, as will our supercar drivers out there this afternoon, particularly those that have got cool suit issues. And there are several of those out there, Brodie Kostecki and Ryan Wood notably. So the Century Batteries chopper cam shows us the start-finish line area down there.
In this lap.
And we're going to have 4 laps of racing at the end as James Courtney's made his way back into the Blanchard Racing Team garage. We saw an image before. That's Mike Henry in the garage, and we saw an image of Tim Blanchard just a little bit earlier. Now this is going to be crazy.
Yeah, this is going to be wild.
And who's got the firepower? And there's a couple of things here, because Heimgartner's going to go hardcore to try and deliver a podium that he's been in search of all season.
Yep.
Matt Payne's got a quick car sitting behind him, and he had a tough day yesterday. The Bathurst winner will want to get onto the podium. Feeney and Mostert, you can barely separate their performance with the cigarette paper, so there's nothing there. The first half of the race belonged to Brock, the second half belonging to Chaz, and there was a slight anomaly in our numbers, and it's actually Chaz that came out of the last pit stop supreme, but he's going to be able to hang on.
And the freshest tyre of the lot is Kai Allen, who come in on 66. So he's about almost 10 laps better off than Feeney. So Feeney in on 57, Mostert in on 59, Heimgartner slightly better off than the others there, in on 61.
They'll probably cycle Nick Percat through the pits as a lap down here as well. It's going to be 4 to go after this one. Just a little over 12 kilometres from here.
Green flag, green flag.
Chaz Mostert's got control of the field. Brock stalks him. They advance the throttles and get rolling. 4 laps to go on the Gold Coast for the Boost Mobile Gold Coast 500, part 2 of the elimination final. Heimgartner in that R&J Batteries entry in 3rd position. They're trying to hang on from a fast Matt Payne. Cam Waters in there if anybody makes a mistake, and these two to argue the lead of the race. Mostert versus Feeney. It's supercar rock and roll time with the checkered flag here. It's going to be a big pressure run to the back end of this one. The lights are on. Mostert's made a good start of it for the first half of this lap.
That restart disadvantaged Andre Heimgartner massively with a couple of cars that were
Race
in
control
there.
attention on team. Stewards have imposed a 15-second time penalty on car 18 for a driving infringement.
Anton Di Pasquale pays the price for touching the back of James Courtney right there at turn 11. And there's more touching going on back in the field here at the moment between Kai Allen and Thomas Randall. Mark's been talking about the implications of their battle in this championship and who gets eliminated at the end of the day. They've got hand-to-hand combat going at the back end of this one. Meantime, it's 0.4 of a second between Mostert and Feeney at the moment, and it's 0.5 of a second between Heimgartner and Payne as the big argument rages at the front of the field.
Heimgartner was caught. There was a couple of slow cars, or at least one slow car caught between Feeney and him.
But Heimgartner's got away ever so slightly now from Payne. And this will be a bit of juice for Andre Heimgartner if he can stitch together a result this afternoon. Down the inside comes Allen. He's on the dirty side of the road. He forces the issue with Thomas Randall and he makes good and fires out the other side in first gear.
Don't talk to me, I'm just braking.
So Thomas Randall on the radio. It's a thunderous train on the run up towards the beach chicane here that involves Allen, Randall, Brown and Di Pasquale, who's got 15 seconds hanging over his name to be applied at the end of the race. And then it is Wood, followed by Cameron Kostecki, Reynolds, Murray and Evans, our 15.
That was pretty lively.
Look at the side of Thomas Randall's car. It's battle scarred from all the way down the left front to the left rear of that car. Back to the lead of the race. And there's nothing in it. 0.4 of a second is the gap between Mostert and Feeney for a nail-biter on the Gold Coast for day 2. Sam Scafidi, the engineer on the radio, encouraging Mostert. Brock just fires in there with not a millimetre left under brakes. They throw both their cars up and over the top of the chicane. And he tries to go down the inside, Feeney, but it didn't quite work. There is absolutely nothing in it, and he had to yield, or it could have been considered a bump and run.
And have a look at how Heimgartner's ranged up in behind there now, because he was blocking. Mostert was blocking. Feeney was all locked up. They actually hit, but they were going slow in the end, and they both got away with it. This is on at the front of the field, and a big dive by Feeney. This is a massive moment.
He rescued it. He rescued it. He threw everything at it, Brock Feeney, but he almost threw away either the lead or second place, because now Heimgartner is well and truly in this, and so is Payne, and so is Waters. If anything, it let Mostert off the hook. They were playing for keeps at the northern end of the racetrack, and unfortunately the gamble didn't quite work for Brock.
One to go.
Mostert could be on here for the double. He put together a big day on Saturday. He's got a margin now of 1 second, and they've got 2.9 kilometres to go on the Goldie.
Can Heimgartner?
Feeney, then Heimgartner, then Payne, then Waters. There is nothing between second, third, fourth and fifth at the moment.
I don't think Heimgartner's got the ultimate pace there, Neil. I thought he was going to be able to make some ground on Feeney in the braking area. The last lap now, Feeney's been able to come off turn 4 with enough gap to capitalise on the way that car's been behaving all day. Big slide there for Heimgartner coming off turn 11. This is a dive. This is a dive for the podium from Payne.
And he's vulnerable. He's vulnerable on the run up here to 12, but he covers. And he covers just in the nick of time as he turns in Heimgartner. He's only got a couple more corners to negotiate. He's clinging by his fingernails to a spot on the podium here. This is going to mean a lot to him. It's going to mean a lot to Brad Jones Racing. But meantime, at the front of the field, this guy sticks together a double. Chaz Mostert has done a mighty job on the Gold today. What a performance for him. Grabs the checkered flag at 150 points. points and stamps his name on a place well and truly in the semi-finals.
And go! Yeah, bloody ripper.
Threw everything at it. He had that thing locked up, sliding, grinding, trying to find a way down the inside of Chaz. He didn't get there, but in the process, he almost undid himself, almost exposed himself to a complete positional change involving Heimgartner and Payne. But in the end, it settled, and he came home the runner-up. But wow, and what a moment for this bloke. Brad Jones will be back in Albury unwell at the moment, celebrating this. They've been looking for that. It's a nice little bit of sugar at the end of a tough run for Heimgartner, and what a weekend for this guy.
A double win on the Gold Coast. What a performance they've been able to put together at WIU for car 25. And he just drove again superbly. He come out after the final stop in front. We couldn't work out what happened, but it absolutely was dead on. They strategized themselves forward. Martine Walkinshaw there with all of the team, Bruce Stewart, and all of the guys, Robbie Starr in the background, everyone enjoying what was a very memorable weekend, and certainly a memorable event for this man who's driven absolutely world-class performance again today. Brock Feeney down the inside. That was a bold move, Neil. I mean, it was a big dive, wasn't it? It was a big dive.
That could be the understatement of the weekend. That was a bold move, Mark. That was a seriously bold move. But that's what they're paid to do. They're actually paid to do that. Follow the leader is not one of the prerequisite requirements when you're a professional race driver. So Feeney had a huge go down here. This was awesome. I mean, it's just off the scale watching those things jump here. At this stage, we've all got serious blood pressure. And how's that? He's almost on the Hino. In fact, he's on the Hino side. He needed a three-quarter width car to be able to get down there. Chaz is squeezing him. He made the apex. And in fact, Andre probably had the pace to go through there, but there was just nowhere to go. Let's listen.
But listen, yeah, it's going to graunch. Oh. That's all the backlash in the drivetrain.
So that not only are you hearing it grind itself on concrete, you're hearing metal to metal in the gearbox as well. And this is Heimgartner trying to find a way through here. So big celebrations there for everybody. And this young fella is not going to be feeling well. So for Ryan Wood, that's the best part of an hour and 3/4 of motorsport this afternoon without the benefit of a cool suit. He will be feeling sick and dehydrated, and they're going to take him out the back and attend to his woes. And I think you'll find that Brody Kostecki's probably in a similar boat, unfortunately. But what a turnaround for this guy. Early in the race, I wasn't sure whether they actually had enough in store to be able to take it to Brock Feeney. But here he is arriving for the second day in a row at Pertec Victory Lane with 150 points in his back pocket. He came into this second semi-final today with an assured position in the semi-finals based on yesterday's race victory, and he's now put a very big stamp on that. And he's a player. He's a player for a championship at the back end of the year, and that's what the finals have done. They've flipped the way in which this has worked traditionally, and they are pretty happy about all that down there. Tom Randall just having a conversation. Doesn't look like he's overly thrilled with the universe after the battle that he had with Kai Allen. So he and Kai are having some words. King Chaz on the Gold Coast celebrates in fine style. He went to Bathurst, he went to Indy, he's come to the Gold Coast, and he's put together the double. Maximum points this weekend, and that's going to be a big celebration for he and the crew for this evening, and all of his family and friends that are from this neck of the woods.